بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين والصلاة والسلام على سيد الأنبياء والمرسلين أما بعد. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. This is session 8 of our study on Nahw. Before we start the session, we're going to go through the exercise I've got you guys to do. So exercise number 1, there's a note over here, note 5. When speaking, pause on the last letter, that is, do not read any haraka on the final letter. Read the word al-baytu as al-bayt and az-zakatu as az-zakah. If you're reading one word, pause on its last letter, and if you are reading several words, pause on the last word. Example, khubzun wa laban. We're going to ignore this rule because I want you guys to get used to the way to pronounce the last letter. You know, the last letter, if it doesn't, when it comes to a noun, when the last letter doesn't have alif lam, there's a tanween, right? And then when you add alif lam to it, that tanween is dropped. So for the sake of that rule, I want you guys to practice that rule because this is the beginner level. So we're going to ignore this note 5 rule for now, even though this is applied when you are speaking, this is what you will do. However, for this beginner level, we're going to ignore this. So we're going to read the last letters i'rab as it is. Okay, so question A, read these words and translate them. Okay. Al-baytu, the house. Al-thamaru, the fruit. As-salatu was-zakatu, the salah and the zakah. Khubzun wa labanun, bread and milk. Salihun aw fasikun, a pious one or a transgressor. Al-hasanu awil qabihu, the good one or the ugly one. Al-ma'u wal-khubzu, the water and the bread. This is in the Urdu version. This is at-tamru. So that meme is supposed to be with a sukoon. It's supposed to have a sukoon on it. So at-tamru wal labanu, the dates and the milk. Jahilun wa alimun, an ignorant person or an ignorant man and a learned man. Al-insanu wal farasu, the man and the horse. Dawsun wa kitabun, a lesson and a book. Al-adilu awiz zalimu, the just or the oppressor. Jamalun wa farasun, a donkey and a horse. B. Translate the following words or phrases into Arabic. Use the definite article, the alif lam, wherever the words are definite. So number 1, a horse, farasun, a man, insanun. Number 3, a man and a horse, insanun wa farasun. Bread and water, khubzun wa ma'un. Number 5, a man and a fruit and a house, insanun wa samarun wa baytun. Number 6, the scholar and the learned man, as-salatu wal alimu. Number 7, the pious one and the transgressor, as-salihu wal fasiqu. Number 8, the man or the horse, al-insanu awil farasu. Number 9, the milk and the bread, al-labanu wal khubzu. Number 10, a man and a horse, insanun wa farasun. Number 11, the ugly one and the beautiful one, al-qabihu wal hasanu, a cat and a boy, hirun wa waladun. Number 13, the moon and the sun, al-qamaru wa shamsu. Number 14, the camel or the horse, al-jamalu awil farasu. So that's done. Now we go to today's lesson. Today's lesson is going to be starting the compound based discussions, so the murakkab based discussions. Can you remember in our I think it was the second lesson, we said that Nahwa has two discussions. We have singular based discussions and compound based discussions. So singular being mufrad and compounds being murakkab. And we said that the singular words are three types. There's three categories. We said ismun, fi'lun, harfun. We have a noun, a verb, and a particle. When we defined each one, and when we went into some discussions related to the nouns, and we also mentioned that the compound based discussions we're going to leave until later. we're going to do the singular based discussions or some of the singular based discussions. So we did some discussions regarding the ism, correct? Now we are going to go back to this and do the compound based discussions. So that's where we're at right now. So the compound based discussions, we have two types of compounds. You have murakkab naqis and you have murakkab tam. Okay, you have murakkab naqis, murakkab tam. Murakkab naqis is defined as an incomplete compound, and murakkab tam is defined as a complete compound. Now murakkab naqis has different types. You have murakkab tawsifi, you have murakkab idafi, you have murakkab adadi, and you have also other types, but we are only going to suffice upon these three types for this level. So we have murakkab tawsifi, murakkab idafi, murakkab adadi. So like we did for the mufrad based discussions, we're going to go through these. Okay, I'm going to go through these one by one. We're going to start with murakkab tawsifi, and the compound based discussions that are complete compounds, murakkab tam, these also have types, but we're going to leave them for now. So we're going to touch upon Murakkab and Naqis at first, and after we've done these Murakkab and Naqis discussions, we're going to go to the Murakkab and Tam. So the first thing we need to do is define these types. Now, as we know, we've said that Murakkab is a compound. A compound is two or more words put together. A compound has two types, murakkab naqis and murakkab tam, incomplete compound and complete compound. Now the question is, what makes a compound incomplete and what makes a compound complete? The definition of an incomplete compound is a combination of words that delivers an incomplete meaning. Okay, there's two examples over here. Kitabu Zaydin, the book of Zayd. Now, why is this an incomplete meaning within this compound? Why is there incomplete meaning within this compound? It's because, what about the book of Zayd? You say the book of Zayd, you say Kitabu Zayd in the book of Zayd. What about the book of Zayd? Because of this, it has an incomplete meaning. It's a compound, yes. It's a combination of words, which is a compound. Yeah, it's a combination of words, but it delivers an incomplete meaning. Same with the second example here. Rajulun Hasanun, a good man. What about a good man? Okay, what about a good man? So it's got an incomplete meaning to it. So it's a combination of words, yes, but it delivers an incomplete meaning. In opposition to Murakkab tam, which is a complete compound. It's a combination of words just like Murakkab naqis, but from which a complete meaning is understood without further explanation. So if you look at all these examples, Ar-rajulu alimun, the man is learned. Okay, you have a complete meaning which is understood. We don't need further explanation after that. Also, khudil kitab, take the book. Khudil kitab, take the book. And then we have this other example over here. Rabbi uzukuni, oh my Lord, grant me sustenance. All of these examples fall under murakkab tam because it's a combination of words from which a complete meaning is understood without further explanation. Okay, so these are the two types of murakkab. Okay, and we're going to touch upon the murakkab naqis first. First is going to be the murakkab tawsifi and the murakkab idafi and the murakkab adadi. Okay, so first murakkab tawsifi. What is murakkab tawsifi? The murakkab tawsifi is what we would define as the adjectival phrase. The adjectival phrase, murakkab tawsifi. This is when you have two parts. You have the first part being the mawsuf and the second part being the sifa. What is the mawsuf? Mawsuf is the word that is described. Right? And the sifa is the description or the adjective, you could say. So the word that is being described is called the mawsuf, and the adjective, the description, is called the sifa. So first comes the word that is described, and then the adjective. If you notice in the English language, ponder upon the English language. In the English language, the other way around, right? You have the sifa first, the description. Okay. Example: a learned man. A learned man. That's how you say it in English language, correct? A learned man. So if I just put this here, this is the translation of this. A learned man. Notice in English language you have the sifa coming first and then the mawsuf. In the Arabic language you switch it around. You swap it around. You have the mawsuf, that which is described, and then you have the sifa, which is the description. Because of this reality, when you translate a mawsuf sifa, meaning a murakkab tawsifi, an adjectival phrase, then you will translate it backwards. You translate the sifa first into English, so you translate the adjective and then the mawsuf, which is the thing that is being described. So you say a learned man, a learned man. Does that make sense? Now, when it comes to mawsuf sifa or murakkab tawsifi, these are two ways of describing this type of murakkab. You can call it murakkab tawsifi or you can call it mawsuf sifa. It doesn't really matter. There's rules for this type of murakkab. There are four rules to keep in mind. Okay. The first rule is that the sifa, the adjective, the second part of the murakkab, yeah, because we have two parts, right? We have the first part which is the mawsuf, the second part which is the sifa. The sifa is to mirror the mawsuf in terms of i'rab. Okay. The sifa, which is the adjective, the second part, is to mirror the mawsuf, which is the first part, the thing that is being described, in terms of i'rab. So the i'rab that the mawsuf has, which is the thing that is being described, the sifa will also copy that. The sifa will copy the i'rab of the mawsuf. Does that make sense? Have you noticed over here that rajulun, it's got two dhammas. Hence why the sifa also has two dhammas. Why does it have two dhammas? Because it's in the marfu state. And the marfu state is going to be expressed in this example, meaning rajulun in the marfu state is going to be expressed in this example with two dhammas. The sifa also has two dhammas because the sifa is to mirror, is to copy the mawsuf in this manner in terms of i'rab. Okay, because the mawsuf is in the marfu state, the sifa is also in the marfu state, and the marfu state of the mawsuf is expressed like this, and likewise for the sifa. Does that make sense? Now, the second rule for mawsuf sifa or murakkab tawsifi, the adjectival phrase, is that the sifa is to mirror the mawsuf in terms of nakira and ma'rifa. So if the mawsuf, the first part of this type of murakkab, this type of compound, is nakira, then the sifa will also be nakira. If the first part is ma'rifa, then the sifa will also be ma'rifa. The first part of this example, the mawsuf, that which is being described, which is the rajul, right? A rajulun, aman, okay? It's nakira. Because it's nakira, the sifa will also be nakira. Okay? The third rule, the sifa is to mirror the mawsuf in being singular, dual, or plural. So if the mawsuf that which is being described is singular, then the sifa will also be singular. If the mawsuf is dual, the sifa will also be dual. If the mawsuf is plural, then the sifa will also be plural. Because in this example, rajulun alimun, a learned man, the mawsuf, that which is described, which is the first part of the murakkab, is singular. The sifa, which is the second part, the adjective, which is alimun, is also nakira. Because rajulun is nakira, alimun is also nakira. The fourth rule, the sifa is to mirror the mawsuf in terms of gender. So if the mawsuf, which is rajulun, in this example the mawsuf is masculine, hence why the sifa will also be masculine. If the mawsuf was feminine, the sifa will also have to be feminine. So the conclusion is that the sifa, the second part of this murakkab tawsifi, the adjective, is to copy, is to mirror the mawsuf in four ways, in four perspectives, in four aspects. The first one in terms of i'rab, the second one in terms of being nakira or ma'rifa, the third one in terms of being singular, dual, or plural, and the fourth one in terms of gender.